Yesterday, we talked about vibration, not as magic, not as attraction, but as capacity, what your nervous system can see, what it can handle, and what it can sustain. Today, we are going even deeper because there is a physics formula that explains all of this, and it maps perfectly onto how human consciousness works. Previously, I briefly talked about the formula for frequency, but now I see the importance of talking expansively about the formula of frequency. It is quite important because if you understand what this formula is saying, you understand why it is important to vibrate at an higher frequency. So once again, here is the formula. Frequency F equals to V over lambda. So in physics, F is frequency, V is speed of velocity, and lambda is wavelength, which is the space between waves. This space can be referred to as distance. So it's the distance between points A and B of waves. It is simple, precise, and mechanical. And once you translate it emotionally, it becomes obvious why most people feel stuck. Now, let's translate the physics frequency formula into emotion. Emotionally, the formula looks like this. Velocity V equals to how fast your emotional state shifts. Wavelength equals to how much emotional space you have. And frequency equals to your overall energetic state. This isn't metaphor, no. It's pattern because your frequency isn't about positivity. It's about regulating the speed relative to your emotional capacity. So now I want to explain what it feels like being in the state of high frequency. So when someone is operating from a state of high frequency, this is what is happening. Their emotions move quickly, they recover fast, they don't stay stuck for long, and the gap between their emotional drops are short. This means they spend little or no time operating from sad emotional states. They feel disappointed here, but it passes. They feel stress here, but it processes. They feel fear here, but it doesn't take over. Their wavelength is short. This is why their velocity is high, and it is why they operate at an higher frequency. In the frequency formula, if you relate frequency with wave distance, lambda, you will see that frequency is inversely proportional to the wave distance. This means if you increase your frequency, it is going to take you a shorter wave distance to attain emotional balance. This is why it is important to always operate at an higher frequency, because if you operate at an higher frequency, it will take you a shorter distance to attain emotional stability. On the other hand, I want to now explain low frequency and how it affects your emotions. Low frequency, on the other hand, looks different. And it's not because the person is weak, no. It is because their system is overloaded. Emotional recovery is low, spirals last longer, fatigue lingers, and negativity stretches out. When operating from a state of low frequency, the wave distance is longer. It's not because emotions are bad, no. It's because the system doesn't have space for speed. This is because there are longer gaps, heavy pauses, and delayed recovery. That's low frequency. And like I said earlier, frequency is inversely proportional to wave distance. So if your frequency is low, it means your wave distance is going to be high. This will then mean it will take you much more longer duration to attain emotional stability. Moving on, here is the human version of the equation. Your frequency equals to how fast you regulate your emotions divided by how long you stay down. That's it. This is not manifestation. This is not belief. It's not effort. It is your recovery time. So now let's discuss why life improves when frequency rises. Life improves when your frequency rises, not because problem disappeared, but because you don't stay collapsed inside them. You bounce back faster. You regain clarity sooner. You don't lose days to emotional drags, but rather, your nervous system returns to baseline quickly. And this changes everything. This changes everything because you are no longer affected by outcomes. You are no longer affected by people's opinion. Now you've taken control over your emotions. You are in charge of your own self. You are in charge of your emotion. Your mind is at the perfect state. You are no longer disturbed by outcomes that you don't have control over. Frequency isn't magic, no, it is emotional regulation. Your life improves when your recovery time improves. Previously, I showed how frequency is your baseline. I showed you that vibration sets your range, but today explains how regulated speed and emotional space determines the signal you live inside. Raising your frequency is not about suppressing your emotions, no. It's about shortening recovery time, increasing emotional capacity, and creating space between waves. A regulated system doesn't avoid emotions, no. A regulated system moves through emotion. Frequency rises when recovery shortens, and life changes when you stop staying down. So remember the formula, because this isn't just spirituality, no, it is structural.